Hi there, my name's Mark and I am one of the account managers here at Vinterior. This is an introductory video for everybody who's new to Vinterior selling platform, our marketplace. And we just want to talk you through some of the basics of managing your seller account. We're going to go through how to create listings on the website, what to do when you make a sale, how to update some of the basic information within your seller account, and hopefully by the end of this you'll be fully up to speed. We'll also show you some links about how you can access our seller FAQs pages, how you can join us on Facebook and Instagram and interact with other sellers. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen so that you're able to see what I see. I'm logged in as a seller. So this is the basic Vinterior seller account menu. As you can see, there's various options. I'm going to talk you through the main ones. One of the first things that we ask people to do when they join is to update the delivery information that appears on their listings. So if you currently look at a listing on our website, you'll see that there's a description, dimensions, but there's also this additional information, which is delivery. And there's one message per account. So with this example, this is some information about average prices, how long it may take, a message here about London deliveries potentially being sooner. So anything that's going to help the buyer in their decision making when looking at a piece. So if you're in your seller account, go to the main menu, which is in the top right corner if you're using a desktop, and you click on seller account. What you can see here is a shipping information box. Click on edit, and this is where you can add a minimum and a maximum price. You can have an estimated delivery time frame, and then also some additional delivery information. In here, you'll see an example of, a one-man delivery service, standard transport between 7 and 14 days, deliveries are made to the front door, courier may need assistance. It's basically any information that you think a buyer would need to know before purchasing one of your items. So have a think about that, fill in the information, and we can provide a little bit more transparency to buyers before they place an order of one of your items. So the next option is an important one, and it's how to create listings on the website. So in your main account menu here, you'll see My Listings. What this will take you to is any existing listings that you have on the website, but also a Create New Listing button. Now, there's two options when creating a new listing on Vinterior. Number one, creating the listing yourself. So clicking on here, this opens up a very simple form where you can choose your address that the item can be collected from, and you can toggle whether or not to allow free collection from your premises, and then the listing details. So I'm not going to go through this entire form. It's self-explanatory. If you've used your own website or you use any of the marketplaces, it's the basic details of a piece. So title, price, categories. We have some drop-down menus. Some of them are compulsory, which you'll see with the red stars, and the red information also provides a little bit of detail just to help you. And you can always get in touch with our team if you are struggling to create your first or second or third listing on the website. You can save these as drafts and come back to them. Once you've included all this information, you can then add your product images. So that's option one. Another thing that we do, which is one of our main features, and the majority of sellers who use Vinterior, about 75% actually use this feature, is our import listings tool. So if you click on import listings, all we need from you is a link to an existing product page that's already online. So it may be your own website, it may be a product page that is already on another marketplace. All we need you to do is copy and paste the listing into this box, press submit, and we're happy to do the rest. So I'll just quickly show you an example. Here's a website of a seller that's on Vinterior now. If they've just added 3 or 4 new pieces to their website, all they would need to do is come into here, right click, copy link address, because all we want to do is end up on this page, go back to our import page, copy and paste this information, and then basically submit your listing. And what that will do, it will add this link to our queue. We have a team that work through the night, 24/7, creating these listings for you. Now, this is a free service, absolutely no charge at all. And it just allows us to get your products on the website as soon as possible so we can then put it in front of buyers. This is our version of stacking the shelves. So we want to make sure our shelves are constantly being stacked with your great pieces. So the next thing we're going to look at is what happens once you've submitted these listings. So if you put, you know, 1 listing or 10 listing or 50 listings into this box and click submit, we're going to send you an email just to confirm how many of these listings have been submitted, just so you have an idea. But what you can also do to track these is go to your My Submitted URLs page within your account. And what you'll see here, I mean, this is my account that I'm showing you now, so don't worry too much about the kind of lack of detail, because obviously I don't use this to sell any pieces on the website, it's just for show. But you'll see the links that you've added, you'll see when you added them, you'll see if any actions required, and you'll also see the status. So the status that you'll probably see is published or being processed. Again, any questions about any of this stuff, I'll provide some details about at the end of this, so you can get in touch with us and our team. And you know, the most important thing to remember is if you have items to sell, we want to see them on Vinterior. You know, if it's not on our website, we have no way of selling it for you. If you have 10 new listings a week, you know, put some time in your diary once per week. I need to get those 10 listings over to Vinterior. It's going to take you maybe a couple of minutes to get 10 new items added to the website. If you sat there and created all 10 yourself using that first form, you know, you might be sat there for half an hour. So it's definitely a speedier way of getting your things onto the website, which is obviously what we want our buyers to see, is the new stuff as soon as it's ready. Once items have been listed, you go to your My Listings page, and this will basically be where you can make changes to any of your existing listings. I mean, this is just a test listing, but you would click on edit, and then you can basically update anything. You can update the price, the title, you can remove images, you can change images, you can create a new main image. But also what's important on this page is marking an item as sold. So if you have sold an item on your other website, you've sold it in your shop, you've sold it at a market, depending on what it is that you do and where that you sell your pieces. If you come in here and click mark as sold, what this will do is it will prevent anybody on Vinterior from buying this piece. And obviously, we don't want buyers to get to the point where they've decided to buy your piece. They then go and buy it, they put in the card details, they press OK, and then you tell them a few hours later, oh, actually, you know, I've sold this item a few days ago, it's no longer for sale. All that's going to lead to is disappointment, and it could negatively affect your seller rating on the website, which obviously we all want to avoid at all costs. Now, obviously, once you've started listing things on Vinterior, hopefully inquiries are going to come in. Now, you're going to get sent emails from Vinterior whenever you get a new inquiry, whenever you get a new delivery quote request, and we house all of this information within your inbox. So the URL is /inbox. There's this messaging button here at the top of the page, which you can click on, and that will take you to your inbox. Now, this is something that we are looking to develop, as we appreciate that it maybe is a bit clunky, a little bit, you know, the layout is maybe not as nice as we'd like it to be, but it's something that we're definitely going to be working on in 2019. But here you'll see any pending delivery quote requests, pending inquiries. Once you've answered these, they then become delivery quote requests, delivery quotes, inquiries, after sale inquiries. And here you can access all of your messages, forgive that one, but you can access all of your messages, and you can see the kind of quotes that you've given. When it comes to delivery quote requests, there's also a separate page here, My Delivery Quote Requests. And if you go into here, you'll be able to see somebody from this delivery address requested a quote. You'll be able to see what it is that you gave them. And you can also use the contact the buyer button if you want to start a conversation with a buyer. So say somebody makes a delivery quote about one of your items, you go back and say it's going to be £50. It might be that a few hours later you realize, oh, actually, if I get it there to them on Saturday, I can do it for £40. You can come in here, contact the buyer, start a conversation, let them know what's changed, and then hopefully that's going to lead you to closing more sales by giving them more update information. Next step is obviously making a sale. So when you make a sale on Vinterior, we will send you an email, and if you provided us with your mobile telephone number within your account, we'll also send you a text message, because we want you to be aware straight away that you've made a sale. So from the email and from the text, there will be a link where you can get to this page, but manually you come in here, and I'm just going to show you on our test website where I did a test earlier, My Pending Sales. So you click on My Pending Sales, it tells you this is the item you've sold for £6,000. So I'd be very, very happy right now if I'd made this sale on the website. And all you can do is you'll see where it's being delivered to. So E1 CN8 East London, and then you come in here and you click on update. And then the questions that we're going to ask you is this item still available? So as I mentioned earlier, there are going to be times, maybe circumstance will get in the way. You sell it on your other website this morning, you've been away from the office all day, you've not had your mobile phone on you, you've not been able to update your Vinterior listings, which is a shame, but we know sometimes it can happen. And this is where you would say, I'm afraid, no, it is not available. And we would then let the customer know that that's the case. Hopefully, and 99 times out of 100, the item is still available. You click on yes. We then want to know, well, how much is it going to cost to get it to East London? So delivery price, this is where you can put in whatever it is. You might have to call your courier. You might know off the top of your head, depending on what the item is. It might actually take you a couple of days to get the best quote. So to let you know, once you make a sale, you have 72 hours in order to confirm each sale. If 72 hours passes and the sale hasn't been confirmed, then we will automatically cancel the sale, which will reflect very poorly on your seller account. If we see this happening multiple times, then obviously we'll get in touch and just try and figure out what's going on. We send reminders via text, we send reminders via email, and hopefully 3 days is plenty of time to confirm the sale, confirm the best delivery quote, and obviously update the buyer with with the progress of their order. So once you've chosen this, you can then choose whether you'd like your courier to be paid in cash or card. And there's information on all these pages just to kind of give a little bit more detail. And we also have a seller FAQs pages where we kind of answer some of these questions as well. So I'll provide you a link to that and I will show you where you can find that. We also want you to provide an estimated time of delivery. And it's very important that if you're going to give an estimated time, you try and stick to it. There's no point saying it's going to be less than 1 week if it's going to be very unlikely, because all we're going to get is 8 days later, a customer ringing us and saying, hey, where's my item? And it's just kind of unnecessary admin time for us and for you, because we'll be then chasing you. So, try and keep it realistic. If anything, under promise and over deliver. Say it's going to be 1 to 2 weeks, and if you can get it there in 5 days, then that's an absolute bonus, rather than the other way around where it's going to lead to some unnecessary frustration and disappointment. And then you can also put in here some additional delivery information. So as I've said before, depending on what the piece is, depending on where you're located, and depending on where the buyer's located, this delivery information could vary. If it's a really large armoire or even a chandelier like this, which is going to take some real kind of packing and care, and it's going to be a fragile piece, it may take longer to get there. You maybe want to explain why the delivery cost is what it is. I know certainly for some larger chandelier pieces where it's going from one end of the country to the other, and it's a very fragile piece and it needs maybe extra insurance. This is maybe in here where you can explain, this is the service I booked in, this is the reason why it costs what it does. And then obviously if that buyer wants to then get in touch with you to discuss that and take it further, they can do. Then you'll confirm it. And at this point, we charge the buyer for what they've paid for the item. We'll charge them for the delivery that you've selected. And then that will trigger an email to you to say, you can now see exactly where this buyer lives, the full details of their address and their contact number and contact details. So then you can get in touch with them however it is that you think that's the best way to do. So you can then go to your My Sales page. So I'll go back to our main account here. You can see some kind of test sales that I've made to people within the team for £1 for this delightful sofa. So they got a good deal there. This is where you can use the contact buyer button. So once you've confirmed your sale, it'll appear in your My Sales section here. You can see the status is set as confirmed. So this is where you can contact the buyer, and you can basically go in here and you can say, hey, thank you for your order. Are you going to be available on Saturday morning for delivery? Alternatively, my guy's down in London on Wednesday. Let us know which is best. And this is the best way to kind of communicate with them that way. We do send you the phone number, and some people prefer to send a text message, make a phone call and actually speak to the buyer. I suppose it depends, how your processes work. We want you to fit in with your current processes using our site. We want to give you different options of communication. One piece of advice I would say is if you can keep the conversations within the, within here, it'll allow in black and white these things to be captured, because if there's any kind of issue with the website, any kind of issue with the delivery, any kind of issue with the buyer themselves, as long as all the information is here and captured, then it's going to be much easier for our team as well to kind of get involved and help out. And we'll have some historical information to look back on. So the next thing I was going to show you is, once you've sent your item, we want you to update a dispatch date. So again, you do this on your My Sales page by clicking on update. So say at this point, you've made the sale, you've contacted the buyer, your courier is going to be delivering it next Wednesday. Once it comes to next Wednesday and your courier has collected the piece from you, come back into your Vinterior account, go to your My Sales page and click on update. And you're basically letting our system know this item has been dispatched, yes. When was the item dispatched? And you can give the date and any additional information. So if it's a smaller piece, at this point, you can give a tracking number. You maybe want to give a telephone number for a courier, just in case the buyer, all of a sudden, as emergency, he has to go out, he has to inform the courier. Providing any kind of details in here is going to be a big help, just in case something goes wrong or something comes up. And as soon as you've updated the dispatch date, that is then going to update your payment date. So the date that we transfer the payment to you. So the set term at the moment is we make payment 14 days after dispatch. That's when the order closes. Every single piece of furniture, every single item that's bought online within Europe is done so with a 14-day returns guarantee. Now, there's a couple of things here. We have a returns policy, which you can read on our website, which is here, the Vinterior returns policy, which is something that we are constantly and consistently updating, just to kind of keep in line with the Consumer Rights Act of 2015. And just as things happen and processes change on our website, we just want to make this information as clear as possible. So I would recommend everybody kind of coming in here, reading through the cancellation and returns process, looking at our terms of sale, looking at our website terms and conditions. Quite often on websites, the kind of T's and C's are looked at as boring, whereas I think you're a professional business. We're working in partnership with you. The information that appears on these 3 pages is everything. This is the kind of do's and don'ts of selling on Vinterior. This is what we always refer back to: the terms of service, the terms and conditions, the returns period, if anything ever goes wrong. So the more you can kind of familiarize yourself with that, the better. So coming back to the My Payments section of the website, we'll make payments to you once the order is closed. So you send the item, let's say you sent the item yesterday, 2 weeks goes by, which takes us to 13 days from now. We will then make the payment to you the first Friday afterwards. So you would be getting paid, if you sent the item yesterday, you would be getting paid 2 weeks today. That's the way it would work. So we need your bank details, obviously, and you can do that on your seller account page. So we were in there earlier to update the delivery information, but you can also click here, payment information, click on edit, and you can then update your bank account name, sort code, account number. For international sellers, you can put in your IBAN, and this is also where we can capture your VAT information, which will help us create accurate sales receipts when we send you the money on a Friday. So going back to the My Payments page, we're going to provide you with a detailed breakdown of what the details are. So, these are obviously test sales, but if you sold an item for £1, our commission on that will be here. There'll be a VAT charge on our commission. And then it basically tells you what your payout is, tells you what your expected payment date is here. And this is triggered by your dispatch date. And then you've obviously got the status here. So we'll say this has been paid once it's been paid. Again, all this information is covered clearly in our seller FAQs pages. And if you've read through all of that and you're still struggling to understand it, get in touch with a member of our team and we'll be more than happy to give you a hand. So the seller FAQs pages for reference can be found here in the footer of the website, and they also appear in your main account menu. So we have split these into 8 different pages around orders, payments, delivery, trade, technical problems. So for example, if you click on returns and refunds, you'll be able to see, click on these, you'll get different answers. They'll send you to different parts of the website. These are constantly being updated. The aim is for us, once a month to go into these pages just to make sure that we're kind of keeping on top with all of our site developments. and hopefully making sure that you have access to all of the relevant information as and when it happens. So another feature I wanted to show you as well was putting your account in a holiday mode. So this is going to be, important for people at all times of years: Easter, summer, Christmas. Some people just like to take a week off and disappear and close the doors on the business, which is absolutely fine. All we need you to do is go into the seller account menu, as we've been in before, and tick this box. So currently I am not in holiday mode. As soon as I tick this box, it'll ask you, are you sure? You say, yes, I am. Your account is then in holiday mode. And what that means is nobody can buy your items, but they can still send inquiries and they can request delivery quotes. You'll still get the emails, but they won't be able to purchase your item. So it won't lead to any disappointments. So this is something just to make sure that you keep up to date. If you do put your account in holiday mode, it's obviously important to remember to switch it back off once you're back, so you don't lose out on any business. And that's the kind of main bits. You can also come in here and you can manage your general account. You can change your email address, your name, your telephone numbers. You can change the addresses that are on your account. So it's worth just coming in here, going into all these different menus, just familiarizing yourself with the main ones, and just making sure that you are fully up to date, fully aware of what's going on. Use the seller FAQs pages as often as you can. And then, if you're unsure about anything, get in touch with a member of our team. The final two things I wanted to show you were our seller community pages. So we have a seller community page on Facebook and on Instagram. So if you had either of these accounts, please go onto Facebook now, type in Vinterior Seller Community. It's a closed group, so you need to apply to be in it. You just need to tell us the name of your Vinterior business, and we'll obviously let you through the door. What this will give you access to is updates from our team. So these are updates that I've been posting these past few days about upcoming webinars, but it's also an opportunity for sellers on the website to interact with other dealers. We try and post on here every single day. There's so much going on at Vinterior. There's so much going on in the industry that we want to make sure everybody is interacting. Here's a good example of somebody saying, does anybody have a courier that can deliver a small cabinet from Yorkshire to the south of France, which is a very specific request. And Siobhan, who's one of our top dealers on the website, has provided a telephone number and a name of the person. So if you're struggling with a courier, this is a perfect place to start. So if you're on Facebook, type in Vinterior Seller Community, find us on here, and you'll be getting updates, along with all of your other Facebook friends and followers. The other thing is the Vinterior Seller Community on Instagram, which we sometimes use for slightly different reasons. But again, we're going to try and keep this updated as often as possible. We like to put kind of stories on here about sellers that we've been out to visit. Some video content also appears on here where, we've been out and visited sellers. So we're putting all sorts of kind of cool content together with our marketing team. This is the kind of thing that we want to do, and we'd love to come out and visit, as many of you as possible, just to kind of hear about your business, get some feedback about how Vinterior is going, and that's something that we're always keen to advise. If you start using the website, you have some feedback for us, please get in touch. And what we're going to do in this YouTube video, if you look in the description, we're going to provide you with links to email addresses, who to get in touch with and when, and also there'll be a breakdown of all the things I've covered. So if you just want to jump back and find out about the My Sales page again, we'll have that information detailed in the description of the YouTube video. And I think that's everything. So we're going to keep running these types of videos, throughout 2019, because we want everybody to be, well aware of the types of changes that we're making to the website. I mean, the likelihood is the things that I've talked about today may not be relevant even in 2 weeks' time. So keep an eye on the seller FAQs pages as the first point of call, the Facebook page, the Instagram page. We're sending out seller newsletters at least once or twice per week with information about new features, changes to the website. And I'm sure I'll speak to many of you. You'll speak to many members of our team during your time at Vinterior. We are here to help, and we are desperate constantly for you to tell us what can be better. So that's hopefully what you're going to be doing with us. So thank you very much for watching, and have a great time selling with us. Cheers.